Good afternoon, good evening, and good day. Good morning to those of you on the West Coast. Let's take a break and listen if you can hear me, and we will go from there. Except that YouTube is still delayed from us by even longer than typical. So I'm going to keep filling some air so I can hear if it's working. Yes, it is. So, as you can see, we are back at the Palmer House Inn. Thank you. And come on over and stay if you'd like. It's a beautiful place. Awesome people. And disclaimer, I have a conflict of interest. I'm related, but that doesn't change anything. It's great. So, the camera you can see is the MacBook camera, and the screen settings, I don't know what happened because we've used the MacBook camera before, and the screens weren't messed up, but now they are. So, we've got a 20-hour drive ahead of us, so we're going to jump right into it. If you can see me, type something in the comments. You can hear Moto and Gig in the background. So you can say hello, Moto. Hello. She says hello if you heard her. And let's go on over to our presentation view, which I had to close and open the software, so it's no longer connected to my little window, which is also the wrong size, but I made it slightly better. This camera down here is probably also wrong because it's still a MacBook camera. So we're going to go to Window Capture, Settings, and yes, that's the one I want. Okay, like I said, it's going to be the wrong size because normally that is here on the MacBook screen, and this is over on the widescreen, so that could have something to do with what we're looking at today. So, of the items that I had planned to discuss today, you know what? I might have to shrink this because when you make it bigger, the border size changes. Oh, that didn't work at all. Okay, what's up, Marcus? Let's go, Kacey. EV Love. That's what I'm talking about. Maybe if I make this shorter, it'll have the right size. It's already way thinner than it ought to be. No, it's just going to cut off the top of everything today. So if I adjust that, then we're going to have a problem when we get back to the desk, and then I forget to adjust everything. So this one popped up while I was getting the notes ready to go. Sawyer is warning us that the Colorado EV credit is being reduced to $38.50 on January 1st from $53.50. So take delivery by December 31st to take advantage of the $53.50. So this is for all qualifying vehicles in Colorado, and you want to make sure that if that $5,000 was something that makes a difference to your family, and you were already in the market for getting a car, or if you were on the fence and it fits in your financial situation, and you live in Colorado and qualify, you have just 2 or 3 weeks to make this happen if that's important to you. Otherwise, it's going to drop. And as we discussed, for everybody, not just Colorado, if the current 7,500 is important to you or your business with the business credits, the IRS isn't going to change anything for next year because it's going to be set as is. However, the incoming administration has a way of finding and moving money, so that money that is already allocated for the EV program may find a way to go away. So, not to get into any of your politics, if that's something you wanted or not, if you wanted to be a customer who used that, it's in danger. And if they keep up with what they were promising and saying and all of that, then it's definitely going to be gone for 2026 because that will be fully under their control rather than being something that was set on January 1st with their politicians coming in on the 3rd and their executive team coming in on the 20th. So, get that out of the way. And let's go back to some of these other stuff I found in the... again, I got distracted a little bit, and then some of it I found in the list for other shows I never did cover. So let's take a quick look at these. This one is Tesla suggests that its voice assistant is getting close with this new feature. This is something that's going on live now. Mark found it for us over at the Tesla Live Show. And in fact, he's online. Maybe he can join us. I gotta open up the connection so that if he chooses to, he can pop in. It was open, and I closed it. When I closed the, I didn't do it on purpose. When I closed the streaming software, it closed this connection. So bear with me real quick while I send an email. We're gonna go to new mail. We're gonna go to, let's go to BCC with Mark. Go to you know what? I'm on Gmail. That doesn't work. No wonder it's freaking out. On Gmail, I mail them from Gmail. So there we go. So now it should know who I'm talking about. It should, but it doesn't. Let's see if it gets anybody else. Oh, you know why? It is still sending it from the Gmail, even though I've switched to Windows. Discard. New mail. Let's go to Mark. Okay. It knows who they are now. Perfect. 15th Roadshow. And we'll get a little paste action there, and then I'll send it so that Marcus can jump on too if he's available and is desiring. Over in this other program that we use. It's not even running for some reason. That can't seem to run for some reason. There it goes. And we'll go to the live stream group. I'm missing messages in the live stream group. I've been driving all week. Let's go to those are all sent. Let's get you guys back on screen. And Eddie says, volume's a tad bit lower than usual. So let me crank this. I've got a hardware volume knob. Is this any better? Let me know. If it's not, then oh wow, I am at like half of what I normally am. You're right. Let's crank this some more. It sounds like I'm screaming to me, but the levels are really low. What if I do this? It's clearer, but still low. Oh, you know why? That's the ear volume. Let's adjust the gain a little bit, huh? What do you say? Check, check, 1, 2, 1, 2. Oh, we're peaking a little bit, and that should be about where you're used to hearing me. Just barely getting into the yellow when I get excited. All right, so this one is for our Tesla folks. If you are on the holiday update or not, you should be able to come in to make your vehicle say something intelligible when you greet it. You can say good morning, you can say hello, and it will respond back. Instead of saying command not recognized, something not processed, it'll say something that makes sense in response. And that's what they're saying over at Not a Tesla App and Tesla Roddy. Where's Mommy? That's a good question. Where'd you leave her? Where? That's why I asked you. Where'd she go? Huh? Did she go to the potty? No. No? You want to say hi? You want to show them your shirt? You're not done? You got Coco. You want to show them your shirt? Come, come. I can't see you over there. Hello, Moto. She got a Halloween Buc-ee's shirt. Grandma was running through, and this baby loves her some Halloween. So, of course, she got one. Yeah. Okay, here's your drink back. You don't want your drink? You don't want your drink? I'm going to drink it. Oh. Oh, she's double checking now. She didn't say I was done. I'm done for now. All right, so try it out. Let me know what your car does. Robert is on the way to hospital appointment. Good luck. Hopefully it is a clean follow-up, and hopefully it's a follow-up and not a fresh appointment. But I hope everything goes well. And we're going to go to next. This one, I got a click, and then it got really quiet in here. Let me see what's going on with the... All I did was move my foot. Let me make sure that the audio... I still see that the microphone is incoming. Sound is coming from the Yeti stereos, and right, so I'm hearing nothing back all of a sudden. Yeah, sound out is through there. Sound in is clearly working. Let me make sure it's actually going to the right place. Yeah, it's using the Yeti stereo. Monitor is turned off. Perhaps it should be turned on. Don't know. The reason I don't have it on is because it's got one of its own. Continuing on. As I was saying, the folks over at the Tesla Life, if you listen to our podcast, which I promise I will get back to updating. I have been making the files, just not making the posts. It's an extra step that I need to streamline. They had a quick look at TuneIn's changes, and the reason I mentioned them is because it's a audio podcast. If you listen outside of YouTube, if you listen in the car, again outside of YouTube, they have a update for TuneIn, which is the other app you could do podcasts in easily. There's YouTube, Spotify, and TuneIn. I believe we're on Spotify. Again, same situation where I didn't do the updates streamlined yet. However, YouTube does have a feature where you can listen to the audio podcast while you're driving, and that is up to date as we do them. Sometimes the live show doesn't get in there until I do the expresses, because the live show, we do it from the other software, not from this software. So it the same company, but that software is not as friendly to go back and make those changes. We can certainly do it, but between Mark and I, sometimes we remember. Sometimes it ends up there after we finish, and then the express shows. I don't even know if YouTube does live podcasts in their software, but I will make more effort to get that checked. Add it to my whatever I do to fix the MP3 podcasts for the rest of you. So, I mean, from these screenshots, it looks nice. I like that it's using the QR code sign in, like Audible and YouTube and Spotify. A couple of the others that they've got in there, nice. And let's go on. Again, got to get on the road. The good thing is it's Sunday, so there should be less traffic as we hit New York. This author at Inside EVs tried an EV battery swap station at NEO. It may just be the future, they say. I'm going to continue to assert that no, it will not be, but I do trust the writings of Kevin Williams. As we discussed previously, we read his previews about VinFast, and they all came true about how it was not quite ready for the American market, and he was right. But it is what it is. So the reason I don't believe battery swap is going to be a thing is, like we have discussed in the past, where you need more batteries and a bigger grid connection, and all of those are an investment that detract from growing your company. We did basically come to the conclusion that it will work in highly urbanized areas, such as downtown London, down there in Tokyo, in Beijing. But as you get thinner and thinner, it begins to make less and less sense. Although as the battery recharge speeds increase, it can make more sense, except at the same time, the battery recharge speeds will also increase in the car itself, and then you don't need a charging station. Same goes if we get the ability to charge while driving. So as we saw see in Michigan, they've got the wireless highway, and if that works out, then there's no need to charge on long trips at all. So I just wanted to bring that up, see what you guys thought about EV battery swap. Say that there's more adjustment, more news coming out of NEO. This one was just sitting in my box. This one is about quad motor M prototype drive left BMW executives speechless. And my only quip about that was perhaps that now that they've seen what 4-motor electrics can do, and they can stop leaning on the ICE cars. I know a lot of their customers do, but if anything is driving in New York this weekend showed that the BMW, is it the i4, the X4, the one with the bucktooth grill and the recessed door handle pokey things, it seems very popular. I've seen lots of colors of it, and it's everywhere. So maybe they can learn what their customers have already know, and that it's not a punishment wheel. It's the future. You just have to make it desirable. Or try something old and new. Like my uncle and I were talking about one of the upmarket brands and their noise, and then I brought up the point of the Hyundai Ioniq N, and how it has fake engine noise, gear shifting, all of that stuff. And meet your customers where they are. Have all of the goofy stuff as a switch that you can turn off, and then when they decide that, oh, I actually like it quiet and not having a headache from the constant drone of just a loud engine, on the highway anyway, you can turn it off. And at the track, maybe it helps you audibly to be able to hear where your position is. Maybe your foot's not telling you enough, or maybe it helps to augment that or something. I don't know. And then you can have that on the track rather than just droning on and on while you're commuting. Yes, baby.
Where's Mommy?
I don't know.
Mommy in bathroom.
She is?
No, she's not. Mommy not upstairs.
She's not upstairs?
No,
Is she in that bathroom there?
no. I can see her.
You can't see her. I can't see her either.
Where's Mommy?
That's a good question.
Where's Mommy?
I still have the same answer.
My baby Jakey.
Your battery's dirty?
My baby Jakey. My baby.
Your battery's dirty? You need to clean your battery? What battery are we talking about here, baby? We have a lot of batteries in this family. Okay. Look at what? Yes, baby. I see the back of your head and somebody frying something in a game. A cooking simulator for kids? I don't know. They're cooking a cube of what appears to be meat. Anyway, so maybe we'll see some further advancement and embrace of EVs over at BMW. That was the point of pulling that article up and saving it for so long. Tesla China highlights its milestones of some of the world's coldest regions. We're looking at on Weibo and on X, they were pointing out that the car works in the cold because they're getting the same trepidation and complaints that we get elsewhere about the cold from people who are uninformed about what EVs can actually do, or who had an old EV that wasn't formulated for the cold. By old, I mean like in the 90s, or in, let's just say they got a Nissan Leaf before the heat pack was invented. Because that was pretty early on that they fixed it. Or say they're one of the few people who have a BZ4X sibling and they charge in Arctic temperatures all the time. That could also be a problem for them. So they were just pointing out all the places it does work, and followed that up with, I may have already shown you guys this one, winter driving tips from Tesla. I did not, because what I did show you guys was the winter tire demo versus the stock performance tires. They make a difference. So they're telling you to keep your car plugged in for comfort and convenience features, scheduled departure, preconditioned shortly before you drive. And we're talking like 5-10 minutes, and it's toasty, defrosted. If it's icy or snowy, maybe give it 15 or 20 minutes, depending on how much buildup it's got. And that shouldn't matter if it was plugged in, assuming it was plugged in and not on the scheduled charge. If it is on scheduled charge, you're going to have to override that. But that means it'll pull all of that energy from the wall rather than from the battery pack. And if it was on and plugged in and not on scheduled charge, it can use that to keep the battery in a ready state to go. You're doing ballet?
Yeah.
You plies?
It's windy. I hold time. Windy.
It's windy and you're holding time?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know. Holding time, like keeping time? It's kind of cool. Driving tips, you want to...
Baby, me.
Baby you?
I hold time, baby food.
Okay. You want to, if you've got the Energy app or a version of it, like us Legacy folks don't have this version of it, but we've got something. Monitor it. It tells you what you can do to do better. So on the new version, it'll tell you, hey, this much was affected by the way you drive. This was the climate settings. hey, you got a boost from a tailwind, but a demerit from a crosswind, etc. If you see the snowflake icon, then the battery's cold, and you'll see the little blue ice for how much of your battery is locked out for safety. Because that energy is still there, but if you try to use it, it's not good for it. Same place we left her. It's a good question. I don't know, baby. Using navigation will take into account weather and terrain. You can't see her? I can't see her either, baby. Yeah, she's definitely not in that window. It's cold outside. Where? Call her. You've got a phone? Call her. Or not a phone. You've got a pad. Oh, but she doesn't have an Apple, so that won't work. If you plan on supercharging, use the navigate to supercharger feature so your car will warm up the battery pack and be ready for it. And then if you're starting with a supercharge, good luck. But supercharging along the way, it should be fine if you're navigating to it. Snow and ice tips. Can help you store and drive your Tesla vehicle. You can't see her. Oh no. Oh, later on in the show, we've got some good news about Model S, so I'm just going to, while it's here, if you use my code, which I'm going to type into the message right now, you can't see her. Oh, you're taking a video too? You doing your own show?
I take video soon.
You can't see your phone.
I can see her.
Oh, I spelled my own name wrong.
I can see her.
You don't see her? Oh. Alright, so if you go there, and you use my code, currently, the Model S has, I'm totally burying the lead here, the Model S currently has free charging for the life of the original owner. Again, it's back! So you can get your Model S with lifetime free supercharging like I enjoy on my Model X. And you can travel all over the world. And it's not meant for commercial, and they reserve the right to remove it if you are abusing it. They don't detail what excessive means, but they mentioned it. Model X, Model S, and Cybertruck all start at the same price, $79 and change at this moment. So back to where we were before I got distracted by the flyover. Snow and ice tips. You can reposition your wipers and mirrors. If you have the cold weather package, which a lot of them come with by default now, but they didn't come as standard at first. They have a heated wiper landing zone, so that will help free the wipers so you can use them. It also means that you don't have to pull the wipers out and pick them up off the glass in some of those places where you noticed your neighbors doing that because of past experience. Between the defrost and the heated wiper landing zone, the wipers will be ready to go for your drive. If you don't have a heated wiper option, it looks very much like the defrost icon. So if you see three really defrost options, then you're good. If you only see two, then you're going to want to check through the manual. The all-9 manual, obviously, in the car. But yeah, you can select service mode on, and then at that point you can lift the wipers off the glass for those ones that don't have the heated wipers on. And that's a good idea about the auto mirror fold. If it's going to be some rain and snow, sleet, and then the mirrors are in, it freezes, you can actually tell it not to turn them in when it's locked, so that they don't get stuck closed or like overload and pop themselves trying to come out while the car is frozen. Definitely clean the important surfaces. Frozen charge port is interesting because some of them, especially now, have heaters. And in the last software update, we saw the option to activate the heater independently to unfreeze the charging cable. Washer fluid, yep, same situation. Paint protection film and mud flaps. All really good stuff. Some of it seems kind of basic and standard, because it is. But not everybody is a car person, and not everybody is fresh to the cold. FSD version 13 supervised. Some of the team members have shared their insights on V13 and improvements. RX says end-to-end now takes you P2P, park to park. Replying to the release notes from Homars. And then we've got Yuntatasai. Butchered your name probably, I'm sorry. Insane push on the week of my birthday. We've refactored the entire system to simplify the pipeline from direct photons to control. So either that is using Elon's catchphrase, or now we know where Elon got it from. We refactored the entire system to drastically simplify the pipeline direct filtering control, yet providing a lot more functionality under the same unified framework. It's probably one of the biggest rewrites in years. And more people are getting it, finally. Version 13.2 started to roll out in to limited external customers. So far, only people who have it are version 14, version hardware AI 4. Unless more has happened while I was out and about. But I didn't notice anything in my streams. Yeah, I noticed that too. On Teslarati, they don't let you downvote posts anymore. Probably best to be honest. Yeah, I agree. But yeah, so V13 is pretty awesome, and they're continuing to work on it. I haven't tried it out. I'm excited to do it. And at some point, they'll either show up on Hardware 3 or they will start to detail their computer upgrade program. I'm not saying that it exists. I'm Daddy. I'm Daddy. So Daddy's right here.
Where Mommy?
That's a good question.
Where Mommy?
I don't know.
I can see her.
You can't see her. Yes, so that's not to say there is an upgrade program, but if they can't make it work on Hardware 3, then they will get us Hardware 4, whatever that means. Let's check out this chat, make sure we're not missing anything. All right, we're good, we're good. Let's go back over here. Rivian R1T tows out a big rig out of the mud to save the day. It's not anything different than we normally see, but it was cool. People keep saying, oh, I'm not getting those toy cars, blah, blah, blah. Looks like the link is broken for whatever reason. They probably disabled embed at YouTube when Viral Hog or Shareable of the Day or somebody bought the rights to the video. No, nothing against the people making a buck. Everything against the very vicious nature of those houses there. Vast Man Pearson headed out for a drive. Glad listen. I appreciate what you do. Thank you, Dana. And Dana, sorry, my aunt Donna was the one who had the funeral. That's why we were back and forth to New York this weekend. My grandfather too, but we had conflict. So half of us went to one funeral, half of us went to the other. That was interesting. But anyway, not to make you all sad. So it looks like one of those aggregation houses has captured the video, and so we would get a takedown request if we try to share it anyway. So we'll just go ahead and close it down, and we can imagine where Bjorn pulled the semi out of the ice with his Model X years ago. Sorry. It's been a week. A Tesla executive responds to claims of high fatal accident rate. Crashes, obviously. This was going around about a week and a half, 2 weeks ago, where people were saying that the Model Y is more deadly than other cars. And it'll be wonderful if and when you can talk to my Tesla and tell it what I want, including comment on the program right now on YouTube, and it does everything I ask. My dream. That would be sharp. Do tell us, I guess come back and make a comment, or if you're on the phone, let us know before you sign off and start driving. Tell it good morning or hello, and see how it responds. I'm curious. And I'll have to remember to try to do mine, but whenever the computer's listening, this one likes to control the robot, so I might not even get a good clean hello in, and I'll definitely forget by the time she takes the car nap. But we talked about this one a couple times as it happened, where we saw that IC Cars was not using a normal methodology, and they didn't exactly make it easy to find out what they were doing, and several different places, including Tesla execs, told us that this is for clickbait, and we don't know why, other than just to get people to the site. So, just a rehash on that. If you guys hadn't seen it, it was probably true, but the statistics and methodology are under question. And so to draw that conclusion that the world's safest car is the most deadly car, if you're using whatever criteria they're using, it's probably true. So don't do what they do. If they're assuming that you're out there hoondogging the car and you're more likely to because it's safer or more powerful, then maybe drive it in chill mode, or don't care what the guy in the Mustang over there is doing. because if it's after cars and coffee, he is likely to get you a ticket or a night in jail. So don't mess with them because they are doing the wrong thing. The Rivian R2 and R3 probably won't be 800 volts. RJ Sarange told reporters that the company can deliver competitive charge times on a 400 volt system. And this is true. We've seen this with the Model 3 and the Model Y. At 400 volts, they have a smaller battery and higher efficiency, so they can get hundreds of miles, 1,000 miles an hour recharge rates with a 400 volt battery and a big enough conductor between the battery and the charge port. We've got my dream, or something big, or something like a debate from my current route to my destination to take me through some interesting neighborhoods. I'm in no hurry, and I make it about an hour-long drive. I hate the routes given. Yeah, we've done that a couple times, and I like that they, at least on Legacy, they leave the 3 routes up, and as they change. From my understanding, on the non-Legacy, they show up only when there is a change. But so as my uncle or my grandma says, don't take that street. This one's better. I can click on the one they want, and then FSD will continue without me having to turn it off. And then we've got, like you're saying, if you could speak to it and say, hey, always avoid Main Street. It sucks. In your town, it might not. But in other towns, it might be just the traffic king. So to be able to have those discussions, or even better, it's like, hey, I know you want to avoid all the tolls, but without having to adjust it, how much would it be in money and time versus time if we skip these? What if we take the ferry? Does the schedule line up? Etc., etc. I think you're right. That would be awesome to be able to have those, as well as just philosophical debates like, hey, this is happening in the news, and I want to form some spicy takes on it. Let's weigh some options. You've got the data, and now we've got access to an LLM of some sort. I'm assuming that's where they're headed with this. Let's just have a debate. Let's exercise my noggin, and I think that would be fun. So this is why he's saying it might not need it, or will do just fine. It's not saying that they won't have it, but if that was something that you were waiting on, it's perhaps suggested that you don't wait on that. And speaking of 800 volt architecture, we've got some information later in the news. I see what's happening. If I touch the cable, it adjusts inside the microphone, and it's time for me to get a new cable. It's a mini USB, so it doesn't have any of the byte features that you get in micro USB or USB-C. It works. Audio doesn't use that much bandwidth, but it's quite terrible. And I can't believe I just put it there, because now you can hear me, but now I can't see the screen. And if I move it again, it's going to blank out again. So let's see what I can do. That's better. So hopefully the mic pattern is set up so that you can still hear me. I hear me just fine. The levels are looking good. So let's continue on. It's not yet announced if they're going to be 400 volts or 800 or 900 volts. They probably haven't fully finalized it. I'm sure they have one of each and a preference. As we've seen from Tesla and Monroe and several others, that raising the voltage lowers the amount of conductor you need, which lowers that cost. And if you can manage it easily and find parts and supplies, they will probably end up going 800 volt eventually if they put it in the architecture, because generally it's cheaper. All right, so I'm sure you're hearing the baby stomp because the microphone is on the table, which is on the floor, and it's an old house. It's over 100 years old. Let's see. Yeah, now that she's done stomping, it's not bouncing on the microphone. I had to put it through the stunner, but I'm not sure if the stunner is still broken on this microphone, or if it's just my audio, interface for the 12 volt. No, 48 volt, for the 48 volt microphone at home. And now that the table computer is running again, like I said, I can use the NVIDIA software to do the same thing. Once I configure it to be a target of some sort. Let's see. And then they've got a gallery of R2s and the R3. I was thinking you were going to ask me that. I still don't know.
Where mommy?
That's a good question, baby.
I can see her.
You don't?
I can see her.
I also don't see her.
There.
You're scared?
I can see her.
Why are you scared?
I can see her.
You can't see mommy. You want to sit with daddy?
I can see her.
Right. Come sit with daddy.
No, I see her.
Maybe she's taking a nap for the road.
Really?
Maybe she's putting stuff in the car.
Huh?
I don't know. She's definitely not still in the bathroom if she went there, because that's a long time. Come.
Mommy.
Sit with daddy.
Mommy.
Where is mommy?
I can see her.
Oh, we don't see her. What's your name?
A doctor.
What's your sister's name?
A doctor.
Same name?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So you're Motoko and she's Makoto? Yeah. Same name?
Same, mommy, same.
Yeah, same mommy tummy?
Me, I have baby, and I have to. What's that?
That's the microphone. I didn't bring your headphones because you don't ever like to wear them when we're on the regular show.
Huh?
Yeah. If you ever start wearing them, I'll start bringing them.
What's that?
It's the microphone. Don't touch it because they can hear that. And it sounds like...
Huh?
Yeah.
The boo. I got the boo.
Yeah, it does say blue because it's a blue Yeti.
The boo, the boo.
It's red, but it's named blue.
The boo. The up the boo.
Yeah, up there are 3 microphones. 3 microphone capsules to make one microphone.
Up the boo.
Yes.
The boo. The
Yeah,
boo.
boom. If you touch it. Oh, my eye.
Rainbow,
Rainbow.
rainbow, red skin.
It's all red. What's rainbow about it? Oh,
I want Tesla.
you want a Tesla?
I want shop
Reserving 2 rooms.
Tesla.
Tesla?
Tesla.
Yeah, we're talking about Tesla. We're looking at the Tesla headlight right now.
Right there.
Right there? Want a candy? Or you want your cocoa?
Tesla.
Here's your cocoa. Okay. So while she continues that, let me make sure I get my messages from you
We
guys.
brought a whole bunch of magazines.
All right. So
And they
uh,
were,
the high-tech adaptive headlights are almost ready for the U.S.
C and nothing from D, nothing from...
This is my Uncle Tom and my Uncle Billy. If you want to hop on the microphone real quick and say hello, say something about your fine establishment here.
Hello, everyone.
Oh, you gotta get on
I'm
the screen.
Billy.
Get on the screen.
Hi, I'm Tom. Sorry, didn't mean to interrupt.
No, come on.
It's
So we're at the Palmer House Inn. Tell us a little bit about it.
okay. Yeah, it's a bed and breakfast in Falmouth on Cape Cod. It's great. What can I say? It's wonderful.
Yeah.
and right now we're just having a nice Sunday afternoon. Is that right?
Yeah, Sunday afternoon.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, we're live. Yeah.
Okay. And Kacey and his family have been staying as guests.
Yes.
And I'll leave it to him to tell you what the experience was.
It's great. Come on through.
Okay.
Yep.
All right.
All right, thank you. All right, thank you. Okay, I will definitely be getting a new microphone cable when we get back because every time I put it down, it freaks out. But it's back, so let's continue. The high-tech adaptive headlights for the U.S., yes, this is an old article, are almost ready for the U.S. We saw where it's getting turned on in some of the updates as far as the turning features is on. What we're waiting for now that they've got in Europe for these global headlights is the ability for the pixels to block out the blind spots, not blind spot, but to block out from blinding and glaring oncoming traffic. And maybe others like stuff like signs and stuff. So it's getting closer. It's getting closer. All right, so now the BYD Blade batteries are to launch by 2025. We'll see. From everything we've seen about it, they're supposed to be very powerful, very efficient, very fast, and with the highest cycle count. 6C charge rate. That is incredible. We'll see. We'll see. All right. So collab cam has a 1 next to it. What's that mean? It doesn't mean anybody's in the waiting room. That's fine. So now we're going to open up the notebook here, and she was asking where her mom is. I said, I don't know. I don't see her. She said, I don't see her. All right, so we're going to start with VinFast, of all people, we just talked about how the Inside EV's author told us that they were less than desirable. It's opening in the new window on the wrong computer for some reason, wrong screen. Put it over here with BYD. We'll close this one, and they're building another factory in Vietnam. And everybody's like, why are you bothering? Make your car good before you make another factory. Two things here. One, you want to make the factory while you can afford it. And two, just because they're not as desirable here in the States does not mean that they are failing worldwide. Could they be? Absolutely. I have not checked to see if they're failing worldwide, but they could be. And this could be a case of like when Toyota tried to come into the States, and they just keep trying at it until they get it right. Baby toys? Okay. All right, so the BMW quad motors apparently opened it twice. We just discussed them. After 3.5 years after starting production, GM's Ultium battery cells facility in Ohio has produced its 100 millionth cell. That's good. This one was a surprise to many of us. I mean, we knew it would happen, but we didn't know how and when it would happen. And again, we're on the wrong screen, so let me move that over. And I am so glad that the one next to it is not like a YouTube or audio, so that way as I move it, it doesn't start screaming at us. So let's close this one. And Moto, there's Mommy. You see her? Drive Tesla Canada brought this one to us, and for some reason, instead of putting the article, I put the tweet. Why? Probably because the tweet had something we wanted to look at. Who'd have thunk that, or who'd have guessed that creating a self-driving car would involve like actual work and investment? Soon, GM licenses Tesla FSD, quite possibly. So now we're going to go to the article. We're going to close this as well. And so basically what they've done here is they've closed Cruise down, and they already cut down GM Ultra Cruise, so that's not going to happen. And so, yeah, the next step would be to license FSD or something like that, wouldn't it? All right, so this restructuring is expected to save them over $1 billion annually, as GM owns 90% of Cruise and is... There we go. Got these seat cushiony things making noises on me. So, you get $1 billion annually saved, and as last time we saw, their robotaxi program isn't doing so hot because it's a lot of work, and it just made a giant mistake, and we'll see how they do. How they were going to do to recover it from it, they can't, so they closed it. Costco and Electrify America are offering EV fast charging beginning in 3 states. Open in the right window. No, it opened in the wrong window. I did all that clicking around on the other one, and you still put it here. So let's move this, and for the rest of the show, we will do the copy, paste, and go method that we sometimes have to resort to. Which does also mean that we get to recycle some windows. Although I guess they are matter, but they're not they're ephemeral, they're electronic. So here we see a sample of what you're going to have. Are they going to switch are they going to have both NACS and CCS nozzles, or are they going to ignore Teslas? Currently, the Clearmont, Florida location is the nearest Costco for me. So, as we discussed last week, NACS is now officially recognized as the standard in the US. JNACS, as I call it, instead of J3400, which is a terrible name, but better than J1772 as a name. It would be foolish to not do that, as we talked about with South Korea and Japan, not switching to NACS or Type 2 CCS, because being the only 2 islands in the world using CCS Type 1 is not a smart move for the ability to obtain your parts at like a volume discount or something like that. You will get raked over the coals for the specialty of continuing to make the old thing. It's a no-brainer, blah, blah, blah. All right, let's click into Electric Co. and see if any of this has added info. So I'm streaming to you from Falmouth, Cape Cod, through our usual location, which is amazing to me. And on top of that, not only are we streaming all the way back, that how quickly these pages are loading today is really nice. Because you guys have seen it where it sits there and thinks about it and spins around for a little bit. Okay. So this is going to be in D.C., District of Columbia. Also direct current, yes, but where else? 47 states plus the District of Columbia. That's Electrify America. Where is Costco starting at? What 3 states are you talking about? Up to 350 kilowatts. Had a similar thought. California, Colorado, and Florida. So maybe this person from the comments will be able to try it out. Maybe our own Lee Moon can go and try it out with his adapter. Maybe not, up to him. Because that is paying for a charge and making a slight detour. Now that we know where they are. Claremont, Florida, Denver, Colorado, Loomis, California, Pleasanton, California, and Sacramento. All right then. And they're all hyper-fast chargers. Hey, Lee Moon, good to see you. Hey, Lee Moon. Chat with Kacey and friends. Hoping to take half a day trip in the Model 3 long-range rear-wheel drive early next week. Waiting for weather to be favorable. Southeast Georgia to Ocala, Florida. Starting with a full charge. Want to see how far it can go and how fast it charges down low. That is excellent. I am curious as well. And if these things are open and you have your adapter with you and you feel like I don't know how much they charge versus what Tesla charges. If you don't mind snagging a report for that, I am curious what this Costco situation looks like. And then again, that's assuming that you don't need a Costco to turn it on, or if you've got one, and if you've got time. Do not feel obligated. That would be cool. And that's kind of cool. I was thinking about you, and there you were in chat. All right, so let's see about what is next on our list. We've got... So over on the Tesla Life show, we've got coming up tomorrow, we're going to talk about the Swedish way. We're going to be talking about a year-long update into what was happening over at IF Metal and Tesla in Sweden. So as you watch that, think of any questions and we will, or comments, and we will cover them again here next week. Just pop them in the chat as soon as I'm online, and or leave them in the comments on this one so I can kind of be pre-ready, up to you. And this is fascinating to me. And like I said, I don't typically have an opinion either way on anything that's going on with unions. If you want one or need one, great. If you don't, okay. But in this case, it's just so odd to me that they are claiming to protect people while it's up to 13 people that we're talking about, as low as 3 or 4, and they're hurting hundreds to make it happen. And by hurting, I mean not union members. They're hurting union members at other businesses. And this is a phenomenal situation to me. It boggles the mind. But I want to save all of that for after you've seen the video on the Tesla Life Show edition 2 for this week, coming up tomorrow on the Tesla Life Show at 7 p.m. Eastern. And I'm curious where everybody stands on all of this. We've talked to a couple of our Swedish friends, and we've talked to a bunch of folks around the world. And obviously opinions vary, but I love it when we can say like why and how and everything. So Mark found something for us, for me and Patrick. The Lucid Gravity. We knew it was coming out. We saw it, but we didn't realize that they are going to be the first to ship with an NACS port outside of Tesla. We saw that the first Japanese company to announce was Afeela. That is the joint venture between Sony and Honda. So the Afeela will ship with NACS in Japan. But the Lucid Gravity is going to be the first to ship with NACS outside of Tesla in the US. And that's a move in the right direction. You don't need an adapter. And because it's shipping with a NACS port, we're going to assume that it knows how to deal with 400 volt and 1000 volt charging just fine. I don't see any reason for them to drop 1000 volt charging since Tesla's got it on their cars. Not all of them, obviously, just the Cybertruck. But they were already 1000 volt charging on the Lucid before. Although with the earlier Lucid Airs, if you tried to do that with the adapter. It was a painful experience because their voltage booster was not really. It was meant for more of an emergency situation than this. But if you plug that same old car into a V4 native supercharger, so not a V3 plus, it will take care of that, as well as if you plug in a new Lucid Gravity, I'm assuming that it will work on any of the non-Tesla superchargers, or the Charge Your Non-Tesla superchargers. Then we've got, I already discussed it, but let's look at it because Mark tagged us here. Nope. Well, I've got the tweet from the Tesla Life, but I took us straight to the Drive Tesla Canada page with the link. Tesla brings back lifetime free supercharging on Model S in the U.S. And just like I said, this is happening for customers who purchase new vehicles or lease them after December 13th, 2024. Although, is it that much of a lifetime if it's a 3-year, 4-year lease? And does that continue on to you if you keep the car after the lease ends, now that that's an option? Or does Tesla consider that a sale from them to you and start charging you for supercharging? Lee Moon says, yes, you have the CCS adapter. Works great at the local EA chargers. Excellent. Not sure if I can make it further south to Claremont, but I do vacation in that area from time to time. We'll definitely check out the Costco site when I do that Orlando trip. Yes, excellent. Excellent. I look forward to hearing from that. And I carry my CCS adapter around, but I don't make it to Florida as often as I would like. So obviously, if I do that before you can save a trip. If you're already on the way, we'd appreciate that. It's gonna be awesome. And like I expect, if they do well with this, they will spread this to ones that you and I can reach on a weekend drive without any extra. Let's call it extra. All right. So the battery on the laptop is dying, and the battery on this battery is going down as well. I'm plugged into the wall. I don't know how that works, but whatever. Oh, I know why I did that. Because it's drawing in a certain amount of power from each of these monitors that are attached. And it's more than it would draw when I had the power adapter plugged straight into the monitor. That's why I did that. What's up, Timothy? Greetings! Good to see you. Alright, so we talked about the Model S with the free supercharging for life. Do it, and it does stack with my code, and it does stack with your veterans benefits and other stuff last I read up on it. This is a very rare situation, so if you needed a Model S, wanted a Model S, and have the budget for it, now is as good a time as any. What you will find, though, is that the price is higher than it was last week. But I guess this just helps offset that. But they were going to raise the price anyway, so might as well take advantage of it since you missed the lower price. But for somebody like me who drives all the time, that actually would have been a better deal, given how many megawatts I've run through the supercharger system. While we're talking about supercharging, Cybertrucks are now able to charge at 325 kilowatts on the V3 Plus supercharger. So the V4 cabinets and the V4 dispensers on the V3 cabinets. The software update is rolling out now. There are a ton of them. I hope I saved the list. I think I saved the list. I did. Okay, and so. They're reminding us right here that it will rise to 500 kilowatts on the V4 native stations, as well as 1.2 megawatts with a MCS2 adapter and not adapter connection and the Tesla semi truck. Is it possible in the future for the other models S, X3, and Y to reach these charging powers? And I said, yeah, if they get 800 volt packs. Somebody replied. Excuse me. Darren at Drive Tesla Canada says what he said. Agreed. So now let's see what Tesla Charging had to say. There we go. Brandon wants to know which locations. I can try it out. And then this is the next one in my notebook where Tesla Charging says the answer. And the answer is Lebec, California, Chemult, Oregon, Columbus, Georgia on Macon Road, Dayton, Ohio, in North Springboro Pike, Dunnigan, California, County Road, Lamani, Iowa, Wisconsinville, Oregon, Truckee, California, on Deerfield Drive, Harrison, New York, Oh, I don't have a car that can handle it. I was going to say, I could try this, but I don't have a Cybertruck. Far West, Utah. What an appropriate name. Tacoma, Washington, South 40th Street. Highland, California, 4154 East Highland Avenue. Melissa, Texas. Cedar Park, Texas, in the East Whitestone Boulevard. The ones where they get specific, I'm assuming it means that they have multiple options for you there. You got Gillette, Wyoming, in South Douglas Highway. Rockaway, New Jersey, in Green Pond Road. Mesa, Arizona, South Signal Butte Road. Is that Blaine? Yeah, Blaine, Washington, on Boblet Street. And Santa Ynez in California, with more coming, which answers the question that that Mike was asking over at Cybertruck. What is his handle? Cybertruck something. Out of all the places in Truckee, come on, put some in Los Gatos or Santa Clara. The majority of the trucks are here. Well, clearly Tesla doesn't agree. Or it's an unrelated software update that just happens to also unlock some more for Cybertrucks. 250 kilowatts, question mark. So maybe the maps haven't been updated? Or maybe he's checking from a car that can't handle. No, that's not true, because mine can't handle 250 either, and it says 250 on them for me. We've got, yeah, so Mike, cyberowners.com, sorry. Win more, though. And then I said sometime next year, according to them. Couldn't they, before, on uncorked V4 dispenser sites? Yes, but this is them putting them in. This was a trial, so now I guess it's officially rolling out. Wonder if it's all V3 pluses or only some that will have it. That's a good question. Could they be too early for this, or would they need a board change to make it happen? We will find out. That's a good idea to get the FLIR out. That would be interesting to get the FLIR out. That could explain, if you could see in temperature IR emissions, why what happens. Maybe we'll know why they picked 325 and why some sites can or cannot handle it. Whoops, that's too far clicked into what I was trying to do. Let's go back to this one from Tesla Tina. This was what I wanted to show here. Raphael shows us that he's getting the full 325 advertised, 824 miles an hour on his Cybertruck. He added 2 kilowatt hours, and the charge limit was set to 100%. Joe wants a map. I will check and see if anybody gave him a map. Everest, of course, the one day I charged my truck to 100%. Darn it, it's at 92%. Now I can get rid of the snowflake icon, or now can I get rid of the snowflake icon? That sounds like a local weather situation. Improved charging curve? Question mark. That is a great question, Elon Times. I hope. But this was a charge update. Oh, sorry, charge update. A charging update to the supercharger itself. Unless that was required for a charging curve change, then I do not think that will have affected the car. However, they also did just get the holiday update, so maybe that was in there if you combine the two things. Have you tried the in-car map? Thank you, Joe. Explain how this identifies all the select V4s in this rollout that applies to Cybertrucks. Unless you mean, how does the map identify the speed of the charger? He wants to just see the new ones. He doesn't want to see all of them. He wants to not click into it. Okay, so Lodger isn't being as smart about it. He says, I'm not sure I understand the question. Does this information help? The listing that we're on would be more helpful, so then he's just hoping somebody will make a map. If any of you out there are cartographers, like our good friend Judd Angles, you could whip together a little something for him, and he might appreciate it. Let's see. Well, not where they did the video shoot. So folks are really good at this, and they geoguessed the site of the V4 announcement, which is pretty freaking cool to me. So next up, we've got California EV rules are A-OK, says the EPA. The reason that's important is last time this particular administration that's incoming had a go at the chair, they made a mess with the California EPA situation. And so I suspect what they're trying to do here is cut them off at the pass so that California doesn't have another hard 4 years trying to keep their air clean and manage a good portion of the vehicles on the road in the U.S. because that's them. Yes, it is federal, but also they're a gigantic state with a lot of cars and a lot of pollution. So they've got their future waivers already signed up, and just like I said with these folks, and being able to find money that is supposedly locked up, they will make a pass at this, and we'll see what happens with whether or not they mess with the California Air Resource Board, CARB. If CARB gets any problems, keeping EVs on tap. Part of what they were authorizing here is the 2035 ban on new gas car sales in California. And so that's why California wants some clarification ahead of time so they can continue their planning without having to be worried about some folks coming in and bull and China shop the situation. Lee says, at some point I need to chat with you and or Patrick regarding Powerwall 3 with or without solar. I'm doing some plumbing updates around the house and will explore getting at least one Powerwall 3 in the garage to handle any power outages. We have a system in our subdivision, a well system in our subdivision, and it's inconvenient when the power goes out. That's more than inconvenient. That could be, depending on how long it is, that could be a safety concern. I mean, I guess you could pull in bottled water from the grocery store or something if it's a local power outage, but if it's a natural disaster, like say a tropical storm comes through and they didn't tell you to evacuate, it could be a while. So that matters. Yes, we would love to chat with you about that, either on air or off air, privately. Patrick and I both love talking about Powerwalls, so I'm excited to do that with you. Let's go next to, we've got green cap assessments. So this one is, I don't want to copy the text, I want to copy the link. Oh, it's trying to copy the picture. As you guys saw, I started copying pictures with all the articles so that we don't end up in a situation where the article or the tweet is gone and I'm left telling you about something that we can't show. The new Model 3 achieves record low energy consumption figures in green NCAP tests, earning it a 5-star rating with an average score of 98%. This is coming from Tesla Europe and Middle East on their X account. And let's take a look at what they linked us here. You can download the report. They got a 10 out of 10 clean air index, 9.7 out of 10 energy efficiency index, and a 9.8 out of 10 greenhouse gas index. Their verdict is in 2022, Green NCAP tested a Tesla Model 3 for the first time, and the vehicle set new standards for energy efficiency. Today is the result of the new Model 3 is even more impressive. Tested here is the rear-wheel drive version. Its mass of 1763 kilograms does not make it a lightweight, but it's not that heavy either compared to everything. But the efficient powertrain and combination of extremely optimized aerodynamics helps not only keep its image as one of the most efficient electric vehicles without any compromise on comfort, but to set I've got a microphone and I'm looking out to the right. But to set a new record once again, only 20.8 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers in the BAB 130 highway test. Green NCAP confirmed the usable battery capacity of 60 kilowatt hours. Oh, so they've continued to shrink the battery too. That's pretty cool. Which allows the small Tesla to go for, they said the same battery, but they can shrink the battery usable capacity or physical capacity and then still shrink it without saying they changed anything. And then that may be 100% they carried over from the end of 2023 to 2024, but it used to be almost up to 82 kilowatt hours for the battery, so it has changed over time. Dynamic high-speed driving, highway driving, the mixed driving type real-world report. So on the real-world drive was performed on a dry road on sunny weather with a favorable temperature of 20 C. And under such conditions, the Model 3 recorded a consumption of only 14.2 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers, corresponding range of 475 kilometers. That is impressive. The urban short trip was just 12.4 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers and could be repeated for 547 kilometers in total. Awesome. In the cold ambient air test at negative 7 C, is not only the low consumption figure impressive, but also the fact that the thermal management system reached 18 C at the front passenger's headrest in only 3 minutes. And remember, this car doesn't have a PTC heater, so it did all of that with the heat pump. 18 C. That is comfortable. Clearly not sacrificing thermal management comfort to increase driving range. The new Model 3 is again a reason for Tesla engineers to be proud of their achievement. It achieves an average score of 98% and collects all 5 green stars. Bravo, Tesla engineers. Congrats. And then they tell us which car they tested and all that stuff. I love it. We're going to go over to a Sawyer Merritt post. Copy link. And he's telling us what I told you earlier in the show, but he's got the actual number. Oops, crap. Paste and go over here. I told you earlier, the SX and Cybertruck all start at the same price at $79,990 in the US today. Do Cybertrucks also have the free supercharging offer? No, just the Model S, not the Model X. Yep. I must decide, defeat the children or buy Tesla. And then Shensu does what he always does, not always, but nearly always does, and shares his referral code. Then we've got SoCal Edison adds 280 Chevrolet Silverado EV trucks to their service fleet. Congrats to them. Normally I don't talk about fleets buying, but that was a huge order, so yes. They bought the Chevy Silverado EV. I could go into the article to find out they probably bought all work trucks, but it's not that important. As I said, we are about to embark on a long drive, so I will skip that one. We talked about Swedish Mafia, Swedish Way, the Swedish unions. We talked about Costco. What is this one? I've got an electric co status with no picture. We're going to copy link and see what electric co is showing us. Paste and go. And that wasn't a Freudian slip. That was something else entirely. Like I said, I have no standing either way on the unions, except if I see a bunch of people outside picketing, and if I see 13 people and everybody saying, why are we doing this, that's when I get confused. You get all the actors and writers pulled out there. I get it. You got mouths to feed. If I see government workers out on strike, I know that's harder to do depending on what you do, but I understand a strike and I see people, but I don't understand a strike with no people. So the U.S. Postal Service says that they are going electric despite Trump. Let's click into this and see what Electric said. I read it a long time ago. Felt like 2 months ago, but it was definitely this week, December 11th. With this ugly thing, this particular truck comes as a hybrid, diesel, or electric, and the reason it looks this way is it was designed specifically to the U.S. Postal Service's desires and needs by Oshkosh, or at least Oshkosh won the bid, and obviously whoever did it did not give a lick about styling, or worse, this was the best they could come up with the requirements, and that's scary. But they're behind schedule and they are over budget. Go figure. Typical. Trying to be thoughtful and mindful of my phrasing here. The typical stereotype of a government contractor delivering matter or atoms to the government. Overpriced, behind budget, etc., etc. But that's not all. But these big ones, they are known to do that. Boeing, Oshkosh, General Motors, General Dynamics, all of them. Nothing against any of them. It's just the general consensus. We just pick out random projects like Starliner, Artemis, etc. I'm not saying they all have to be this way. It's just there are a couple of them that you can point to. And this has happened. So, the new admin aims to cancel contracts for EVs in the U.S. For new EVs, but the Postal Service won't. According to DeJoy, Trump's own guy, they've defended the plans and won't return any funding for EVs, unless Congress forces the issue, of course. This is the same reason that Biden didn't get rid of DeJoy, and people are like, why not? The post office is semi-independent, and the way they're structured, the president can appoint a new head, but he cannot force the old one out. He can replace all the board that does control that, but you have to get the whole board, enough of them to fire the postmaster, and that didn't happen. And then I hear allegations that the people he did appoint did not fire him, and I didn't look into the details to see if they just didn't vote or if they voted to keep him. So I don't want to get into that messiness until I know the details. But because they are semi-independent, the president can't force them to not buy EVs. But there will be a problem in that the allegations that they're late and over budgets will attract the attention of the Doge department. What becomes of that, we don't know yet. Once Elon and crew are in there doing stuff, we'll find out if they are toothy or toothless, and how their style will be. If it's the usual Elon's implementation of Jack Welch, but without any sort of metrics, just I need 10% of the people gone, don't care how or why, or if it's going to be more thoughtful and measured, like, hey, why do you need 100,000 people for phone support? Let's reduce that, versus what do you do at Twitter? You're gone. Oh, wait, you're the whole group that had the keys to the servers. Can you come back for at least one day to give me the keys? I'm just saying that's up in the air which version we get, and that's not a slight, that's not a judgment on Elon. I've known several of the former employees, several of the current employees after the haircuts, as well as what I'm reading from the biographies and other reports, and sometimes from comments of his own, that, of course, these comments won't say he did it incompetently. I'm not saying that they are saying, especially the ones that are still there, are saying that he was incompetent. They are just saying that it was chaotic and nobody knew what was going on at their level. Doesn't mean that there was nobody who knew what was going on. It just didn't look good. And you had people that were beloved, like their technicians and their service riders and engineers that were working on stuff that we were waiting on, just gone. One of the first things that happened with our Model X, after it was delivered, the whole sales and service department was fired, allegedly. I went in and like, hey, what's going on, folks? And I just heard this thing on the news. Is it true? They didn't know. I probably shouldn't have asked it. It was at a sensitive time. Worst, one of the people in the showroom had not heard. That sucks. And then the other one that did, they had heard, but obviously, the question was, has anything internal happened? Do you know? Versus what we are seeing externally that looks really bad. So, the answer was no. They did not know. But it be what it be. All of that to say, we don't know what's going to happen with the Doge stuff. If he gets what he wants, how it will play out. And if he doesn't get what he wants, then it obviously doesn't matter. That would probably be the only thing that could affect this, other than Congress getting together and actually agreeing on something to make it happen. But this is such a small number to all the stuff they're going to be worrying about that I don't see getting enough of them together to put electric vehicles by the Postal Service in danger, unless it just became some sort of a political punching bag. Because look at how long it takes them to do anything amongst themselves, like each time they've had to select a speaker. I think that's as far as I'll go on the politics in it. Because as you guys know, I'm not either one of those things, and it's interesting to watch, because it does affect me. Good on the post office. But you'll never hear me say they're the same thing. I guess I'm still rattling on about it. I'm sorry. Continuing on, let's see what else is in the other side of this notebook. I had a conflict listed, and I did not do a good job of merging them because they still look different to me. Typically when I merge them, it's clear that one line is missing, etc., or I hit the button and they merge in. And I'm working on Git in school, and I would think that Microsoft, a company that engineers software, I use OneNote for my notebook, would do a better job of conflict resolution. But they don't. All right, so we've got the, or at least they don't on OneNote anyway, I should say. I got Costco, it says it was missing, but it wasn't. The Swedish Union PO'd, it was missing. And then it ends, which is not how it looked yesterday. So, with that, let me go back to the comments, make sure I didn't miss any of you guys. Lee Moon says, excellent. We'll contact you after I'm done with the plumbing. Looking forward to that. I want to thank all of you guys for spending your time here with me today. An hour and 15 minutes so far. Plus whoever caught me setting up. Setting up was fun. We were actually going to be about 2 or 3 hours early, but I had to get the screens working, then I had to get the microphone working, I had to get power, and then as I went live, I had to get the software working again. But it looks like this was a very successful mobile podcast. For not that any of them have been bad, but like this, I think was the smoothest one yet, other than the setup. And I've learned some things. And I want to thank all of our channel members like Lee Moon and Timothy that I see at the bottom of the chat here. Did I miss anybody else who was online today? I don't see any comments that I'm missing today. But thank you for your comments, your time today, and I also want to say that I will catch you on the flip side. And thank you again for your monetary support of the channel, and we will catch you on the flip side. Have a great week, and see you tomorrow for the Tesla Life Express, and Wednesday for the Tesla Life Live, Friday for the Tesla Life Express, and then back here next Sunday at roughly the same time. All right. Be safe. Also, thanks again to the Palmer House Inn in Falmouth, Massachusetts. Come stay here. I think you'll enjoy it. And it's a great experience. And again, conflict of interest declared. So you know it's there. You can do with that what you will. But I will be back again and again, not just because my family's here, but I do enjoy it here. So bye-bye now.